What's up, guys? Mikey in the building. Hope you guys had a good week last week, and then I hope you guys are studying this weekend and kind of going over plays and preparing for the next week. Last week was a short week. I still think it was a phenomenal week. There was a lot of great runners and good opportunities. I'm going to be going over my BLMZ trade as well as um, kind of going over risk management and then kind of clarifying a question Smith asked me in my room about why did I focus on this one versus SYTA. All right. And before I hop into the book and kind of go over those situations, I'm going to kind of break down SYTA really quick. Right. This is something that I learned a lot from Jay. It's very important when we're picking our stock selections to see how aggressive these pushes are to certain levels and then see the opening volume, right? This one to me, when we're looking at a lot of other names across the board, BLMZ, any other stock that's kind of running, it's very important to see opening volume. It's going to kind of tell you what's going on, how things are opening up, setting up. Structure is so important, right? Structure's very key. All right, this thing had that 7 a.m. run up on pretty decent volume, and now we had opening volume, and now we're breaking down, and now we're trading underneath structure. All right, that's really important. Daily wise too. If you actually go back and watch a lot of my videos that I go over, like sometimes these stocks, they do what they have to do pre-market, after hours, they're filling gap, right? We're trading gappers, we're trading stocks, these small caps, they're filling gaps, they're selling off, they're filling gaps, they're selling off. That's the cycle, right? They're diluting. So this reaches 188. So if you're watching 188, this actually swipes a lot of this daily and fills this gap from lows and retests this day and then fails. Okay, so opening volume is important. Where we're trading at, it's very important to see how the stock got there, and these are very aggressive swipe ups, right? So that's key. That's important to watch. This thing finally did rotate, so you could have actually got a rotation scalp out of this, but even then, this peaked out right here at 11:52, and then failed to build, right? So you got this 1 minute flag over here, and then it actually failing when this first 1 minute candle actually did a double top right there. But then again, it still needs to break above this structure. All right, so BLMZ was my main watch, my main focus into open. I particularly really like these type of dailies. I went over and actually showed some examples of, you know, not only when you're a day trader, you're day trading these names. It's important to watch structure intraday, but now it's important to actually watch structure leading into that day, right? So before you kind of get this, there's a window gap right here. We filled it, right? It's a clear window gap. We got this huge sell-off. We got this sideways consolidation, and now there's another controlled sell-off into more sideways consolidation, and now this daily finally hits lows. A lot of these good dailies that you're seeing that I play, or that you kind of see that kind of give these big returns, are very similar in this sense, right? There's this controlled walk down consolidation, or window gap plays, right? These are just pretty good targets to actually test and see what happens when liquidity starts to build there. We got BOF, very similar type of thing, right? We got this controlled walk down consolidation. This stock actually takes a little bit longer. There's a window gap. There's some particular gap to work off of, right? And you kind of see this one that day one. You see this consolidate against these areas, and then it breaks out, and it had a huge continuation day, right? IVP was another one, didn't really work, right? But this is very walk down, stock makes new lows, it's trying, okay? Let me go BNF, very similar situation. This one actually has a window gap right here. All right, it has a nice dump consolidation off lows, right? These names, they're bottomed out, right? They're bottomed out. So if volume starts to crank and we can start testing some key areas, whether they're gaps or they're sell-off areas, or the dailies are being controlled down, and these are easier areas for liquidity to start creating an abundance of volatility, right? Um, so that's key, right? It's key. Why is it key? Because it's key because, the name of the game, right? Whether MMs, algo, whatever it is, how can we trap shorts, right? Or better yet, how can we stop out longs and make them chase again, right? So that creates a lot of buying pressure. How can we fake out shorts and have them cover, creating a lot of buying pressure to create squeezes, right? So now you got both sides of the game, right? Aggressively buying, and then you got other big whales selling into all of that liquidity, right? To get top ticks, to get filled, maybe a bigger, longer term short. They're liquidating, diluting. How can they dilute and do all this when there's not a lot of volume, right? It's pretty tough to kind of do that. So, the name of the game is to try to create these liquidity events and then sell into them, or create bigger moves that maybe have bigger intentions to keep squeezing and building more volume, all right? Because eventually you'll see them, they'll either fade or, come back down eventually, right? So that's important, right? So as you're trading, you got to kind of lock into that and really develop a thesis and try to trade around that, right? Okay. Bring that down, bring that down. Okay. This one was phenomenal. All right, BLMZ. This is a nice after hours pop consolidation all the way into open, right? If you look at this daily, that's a nice walk down right here. This becomes either it's a failed rotation. All right, more controls making new lows. Now we started to trade above this, so to me this is this becomes demand. All right, a demand zone. All right, same thing over here. If you're actually marking out your zones, I would have put a zone right here and ran this straight across. I actually had all these, and then I would have had a window gap right here, give or take. The bottom of the wick, top of the body, upper body, it doesn't really matter, right? So now before I even start trading this, these are already prepped. It's pretty, it's pretty easy to do, right? And the reason why I do that is because you want to start seeing what happens when these levels get tested as we're starting to trade in them, right? So this tries to break out of that zone, has a nice stuff candle, consolidates, and then continues to break out. And now we're trading above this zone the whole time. Even though we tried to dump this or stuff it again right here, we consolidate. So this is a great area to see this hold and build off of. Okay, and look how tight these lower highs are being set up. All right, so if anybody is short in this or trying to get a read off this, they're pretty tightly compact, right? So look at this right here. Maybe someone tries to short this. Shorts try to start building their position, adding to their position, whatever it is right here. And now we start to see more volume. All right, this one was super important because the opening volume was about a mil, right? 917K. Nice weak open right here. And then now we started to crank. This went from not having a ton of volume to actually having a lot of volume. Look at these candlesticks. A lot of 2 mil, 2 mil, 2 mil, 2 mil, 1.7, 2 mils, and then we get 2.6. All right. Now, the book. I love the book more than anything. Okay. I'm almost coming up on a year on the book, guys, and to be able to combine this into all the playbook plays and see how liquidity is being used to trap long and shorts is phenomenal. All right. If you were to watch this right out of the gates, actually pre-market structure, you see how they have kind of controller here. They're pulling offers. All right, same thing right here. They're controlling it and then pulling it. Obviously, someone doesn't want to get filled right away, right? But a nice control into open. This was very key right here. Right out of the gates, they had an offer shoving this down. All right. This guy was going down until they actually got filled. So someone did get filled here. Okay. This again consolidated. They try to shove it down. Same type of thing. and then he finally swiped this. Now, mind you, this is trading above that breakdown zone on the daily that I showed you. So we actually did get a nice weak open. All right. This particular area is where I started to soak, and then I averaged up into the 150s. All right. This was nice right here because not only did this liquidity get removed, right? After this liquidity got moved, this is the very beginning of the front side of a play that was building up a lot of volume. This did a micro test. Now, it's cool because this is that 1 minute candle where I was able to add. There's 60 seconds in that 1 minute candle. I get to utilize the book and to size in or soak a certain play that's trading inside that 1 minute candle, right? That 1 minute candle went all the way up to right here. All right, and then we had a new 1 minute candle open. So this whole 1 minute candle is formed right here. All right, there's a lot going on right here that I'm being able to see and read. So I added right here, and then into this because that's when that nice bidder showed and stuck on this play. Okay, see it multiple times get absorbed, and then now there's no breakdown. All right, sellers get exhausted, buyers are still in control, and now you're starting to see how the bids are coming in and propping this or sticking with it, spoofing it. There's bid follow-up, right? There's passive orders constantly being moved up as price action starts to go. All right, super important to make sure level two is up. There's there's some you got your other exchanges that are not showing up on here, right? So again, keep them both up. I like to just go over this again just for some other people watching. So I'll trade this, keep this right here. I'll have this on my other monitor. And guys, I literally just keep this level 2 box up right here. And then I'm going in here and watching everything being formed. That way I have everything I need. That's right there. You can even stick it up right here if you want. That way you can see anything super close that you need while price action's going into it, okay? So that's what I do. Just a recommendation for anybody, all right? Okay, so again, this is why I chose BLMZ versus SYTA. SYTA just was too much under structure, okay? Once we started to see this was an important level, 160s. We blasted through that level. Really nice with a lot of volume. And then the volume stayed consistent throughout that whole entire move, all right? If you guys can see the 1 minute right there, okay? So that pre-market high was right here, okay? And now liquidity starts to build above it, right? That was very bullish to me, all right? So we broke a nice pre-market area and then we built above it. Now when we look at SYTA, right, we're under structure. All right, we're under structure and there's complete control and offers holding this down here. Now again, you could have played this for a nice reversal and a rotation, all right, if you were watching this. But I would have definitely, some of the things to try to help a couple of people who played this and maybe try to hold too long was that you're not seeing that same type of passive order or buyers building up as this starts to try to remove this liquidity, right? You want to see liquidity be built up or sustained. I say this a lot when I'm trading inside my room. I say this needs to build now. All right, so what I mean by things need to build is that when we remove passive orders on the book or on the offer side, right, things need to build up, and now we need to start seeing bids start to build. Buyers need to get interested. They need to either take lower liquidity and start pushing it up to support the whole entire move, right? And BLMZ did that perfectly, okay? Right? You can clearly see how liquidity is following this move, right? As we're breaking out, liquidity follows this move. Okay, now we're consolidating, and now see how this is empty, and now liquidity is building up with this move. All right, these pullbacks are great. All right, these pullbacks are in lighter volume. This consolidation's on lighter volume. It's really nice to see these stuff candles hold, and then this was the best read right here. If you were a little bit late, but this was a nice $2 hold. All right, I'm going to show you guys something. 2, which is great, phenomenal. This is our $2 hold down here. All right. Now, if you're trading the book, remember to utilize it like this because you can clearly see this is an important level. You can see that somebody aggressively swiped these $2 levels. And even though they try to hold it down, look how liquidity dries up and there's still bids holding this up, right, at the $2 level. This is your swipe right here. So liquidity was being removed, but then sellers get exhausted and there was still appetite on this book. All right, utilize the level 2. Now, mind you, this swiped so high there wasn't anything holding this down. Okay, and that's that particular area where we start seeing a lot of lower highs get tightly compact. So if anybody is shorting into this, right, into these moves all through here, this is where you get that big liquidity swipe. You know, whether it's big covers, you know, people buying this or chasing this breakout, seeing it, now they're dumping, kind of see the volatility kind of get a little crazy. You kind of see these bids start to get a little bit crazy too on the book. There's a 40K guy on this for a while, right? You can kind of see all these spoof orders holding, and now we start to go for another leg. All right. Now, not gonna lie, I did kind of want more. I'll definitely keep this on watch for continuation. I figured, hey, you know, we're squeezing above this window gap. Maybe we can consolidate right here and then continue to go higher and just make new highs. Sometimes they do that with these recent stocks, IPO stocks. But that didn't happen, right? Because if you see risk management, right? Risk management. If you're playing this, I did say I want to go over risk management. No, if you're playing this and utilizing this and you're starting to play up higher, you kind of see how there's a huge difference. Look at all the big support down here, and now we're seeing a shift of it up here. What's really particular too is this, like, this should go. There's a lot of aggressive buyers stepping up right here, but there's not that much bid support, and they're starting to actually pull, right? They pull this, all right? Now we're rotating, setting up lower highs, another lower high attempt. This is a big zone to me where we break down and get aggressive. This is being retested and failing. This is one of the reasons why I say, hey, pull up Tesla. See how liquidity zones and pockets are being tested, and then you can kind of implement that into small cap trading. Okay. Risk management, though, right? If you try to play a rotation and you start seeing no bidders, or you start seeing something like this, right? Why is a big bidder stepping up 32K right here, even down here? There's 70K, but there's not a bigger reaction, right? I'm very reactive to how I position myself, take my profits, and look for big brain reads, right? On that. So, you know, this is good risk management. You know, if you start to soak some of this and you start to see it kind of try to rotate, obviously we need to get back over these levels and even these levels. But why is a bidder coming in? There's not a big reaction to this, right? What you're seeing is a lot of hitting sellers, sorry. And then you kind of see them pull this bid, sell into this bid, right? And then you start to see the book flip. This is the book flipping right here. We have a bidder, breaks through, now we have that seller, and in fact if they pull that bid and someone's throwing the offer right there, okay, you know, so pay attention to things, how they react off buyers, but also remember, it's so important to remember, you know, where we're trading at on the daily, right? Why am I going to try to play a 5-minute flag that's super extended? It's up 200 and something percent, and then expect continuation on a name like this, when where'd all the support go? Where's this support, right? All right, maybe where's all these spoofers? You know, it's not there. Obviously, now it's time to start selling into this. We're up a lot per on the daily. So now why not just keep liquidating, trying to get all the guys trying to go long, liquidate, rotate, you know. It's cool. Very, very cool. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Probably like 20 minutes. I like to try to keep you short. But that was a great trade. There was a lot of opportunities to trade this. If you guys got the books, Wheeler, oh my gosh, Wheeler was great. All right, real quick. Wheeler was great. I caught some crazy rotations on this name. Phenomenal name. This unhold downhold code was 920, so that was really key. Over here, we actually started to reclaim this. I actually wish I would have got some reads down here with all this liquidity. $8 would have been great. Even this W pattern kind of breaking down right here, holding up was great. But I kind of waited, and I waited until I got some confirmation above 920s, and then I actually started to play this in the 950s and caught a nice huge rotation. These type of dumps with no follow through, we've been seeing, a lot. And this is what I mean by, like, I'm waiting to see the reaction. Like, this dumps, I'm waiting to see this reaction. If I did add into something like this, um, off of reaction and a particular previous area of interest, we're swiping above all this. This should get heavy and break down. Now I might be risking these dumps, right? If I watch this dump and I add up here, I'm reacting off this. So maybe this will be a stop. This is my risk management, right? I'm watching these particular areas, see them hold up, and now we're starting to see this. So this is there's a reason why they're doing this. And it goes back to me saying they're creating areas where you get maybe some shorts come in, they short, maybe some buyers they stop out really quick, doesn't break out, and now they're chasing again. Now you got shorts kind of covering, it's creating a lot of liquidity, right? You see some nice bid follow up, and if you see Wheeler, this was very interesting, really nice to learn off of. But if you see the SYTA trade and actually see this was an all-day rotation to only sell all the way back off, right? SYTA did kind of flag. Same thing with Wheeler, it's kind of flagging up here. And all it did was rotate and create a massive lower high into this zone. Okay, I had this particular breakdown zone, so this is good PTs for rotations into. And then we finally actually break above it and squeeze. I thought this was going to go higher. It's fine. I was able to utilize this book again for risk management and kind of seeing bids are getting pulled. All this is getting pulled. There's no follow through. If you see this liquidity zone or this passive order, you kind of see like, hey, where's support going to go to? It's probably going to try to find it if there's no buyers stepping up, and you kind of see the shift in the book. All right. But all right, guys, much love. Peace out. Mikey.